All right, so in the last lecture, we talked about relational operators. We discussed about the six operators: greater than, less than, greater than equal to, less than equal to, equal to, and not equal to. So these six relational operators are used in if and else statements. Now, before we get to loops and what they do, I quickly want to go over nested if statements. So far, all we've discussed is if and else statements, and we've understood how they work. In this lecture, what I want to do is, again, nested if-else statements. I want to go over that. And then we'll also go over another type of if statement called elif. Okay? If, else, elif. So let's get started. First thing first, nested if statements. So I'm going to create a very simple if statement right now. First, I'm going to initialize a variable called age and set it equal to my age, 14. And now what I'm going to say is, if age is greater than 13, I want to say print you are eligible for Facebook. Alright, so like we've discussed before, and as you can see right now, you are eligible for Facebook. Fantastic. So we created a very simple if statement over here. We just check to see if the variable age is greater than 13. Now what I want to do is I want to say, hey, if the age is greater than 13, alright, if that's true, fantastic. Then I also want to check for if the user's name is Bob. If it's Bob, you get special privileges. If it's not, then print the regular eligible for Facebook. This is where nested if-else statements come in. Let's take a look. So over here, once I do if age is greater than 13, instead of doing the print directly, I'm going to put a new if-else statement. If age is greater than 13, if name, so actually before we do that, let's go ahead and initialize my name variable. So, alright, it looks like it's not letting me delete that. So let me go ahead and create a name variable. Set it equal to Bob. Alright, so if age is greater than 13, now we put our second if statement, which is called a nested if statement. If name is equal to Bob, then what do we want? Print, you get special privileges. Alright, and now let's go ahead and add the else statement. So if name is equal to Bob, print you get special privileges. Else, print are normal, you are eligible for Facebook. Print you are eligible for Facebook. Alright, so now if we run this, we get you get special privileges. So this is the concept of nested if-else statements. Basically, all we're doing is we're adding one if statement under the second. And you're probably wondering, how do I know if it's nested or not? That's where the spacing comes in. Alright, so right here we can see that if age is greater than 13 is the highest in the order. That is that this is the biggest index so far. Then you can see that this if and else are the next subclass of if, and then after that, print is part of this if statement, and this print statement is part of the else. So spacing or indexing, I'm not sure what you'd call it here, is quite key in Python. You need to make sure that your spacing is right. So if we had done the print statement over here, okay, it would have done, we would have got an indexer. So over here, if I backspace this print, and now if I hit enter, you get syntax error, expected and indented block. So these indents are actually quite key in Python. Again, that's something you should know. So whenever you're writing Python code, normally it'll do it for you. But if you're writing maybe an HTML doc or something, then make sure you get your indentation right. Alright, so let's go ahead and end this lecture over here. In the next lecture, we're going to talk about elif statements. So this lecture we learned about nested if and else statements. I thought that was pretty cool. Now what you can do is you can put multiple if and else statements in one bracket of code. Fantastic. See you in the next lecture.